Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
We would enroll in AZI. We love an auto dealership company that just spent 1.1 billion on a crypto purchase. This is the future.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check and it's gone.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Laughing Stock. Johnny, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been another great company that we saw here with their crypto purchase. Crazy good timing, I think.
Yeah, let's pull up AZI. Another nice chart here. Oh, hold on. There we go. That looks better.
Yeah, there it looks better. That's what we are going for.
Yeah.
Because with that amount of crypto, and why not, Dane? Why should not the auto dealership company buy so much crypto?
And to be honest, this is where you double down. You just double your portfolio in crypto and, average down.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah. It's and if you look, I mean, this is a perfect cup and handle. Now it's going, I guess this is like like a dropped cup, like your cup's upside down on the ground, but
yeah.
It's a beautiful chart. I mean, look at this volume.
Who cares about the details?
What goes down must come up, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, I think we don't even need to send value to this one because the thesis is so clear. Everything is more transparent
than. I'm not the first one to say this,
oh,
but if you don't like the chart, just flip it. It's that
flip
simple.
it and like who cares?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's yeah, we are definitely onto something here, and everyone needs crypto these days.
Well, and the other thing too, I mean, their market cap's only 910K. I mean, this is soon we can just buy the company. We'll just take it over. Hostile takeover.
Are we about to see a merger with Dogness?
You never know.
No, you never know.
Those two need to reach out to each other, throw a life raft.
Yeah.
What was Dogness's market cap? Was that even lower?
Dogness was lower, yeah.
What was it? Dogs?
No, with a set. With a
Z?
Yeah. There you go.
See, this one, like I said, we called the bottom.
Oh, no. It was higher. Now it's higher.
7 mil.
Yeah,
we can't afford dog anymore, but still.
But look at the bounce back since we noticed this company.
That's what I said.
Yeah. a rocket.
11%. 11% one day, guys.
Yeah.
All you need
Why,
to
why,
do is find
why
the
did
very worst companies.
why did you not go all in like we did?
This is the problem is I should have been focused just on this chart. Let's go
Yeah.
into it, guys. This is professional charting right there. See that and that, and then you got a little bit of a few days of walking, very tight, and then boom, off it goes.
Yeah.
It's that simple, guys.
Textbook. And
That's
also in
investing in a
addition, we
nutshell
had
right
the
there, guys.
solid
Or trading, I should say.
we had the solid foundation with the research. Our entire team was on the ball here.
True. In other
So,
news,
yeah.
guys, we were just talking about the old NASDAQ. It kind of looks like shit.
This is what happens when the Nasdaq looks like shit. We need to focus on other things.
On dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but serious. We on another rough week. Like I've just decided to step away a little bit. I've still taken positions this week, but I'm just slowly getting chopped up, and I decided to because we saw kind of the same setups this week, and I tried something that you also tried, and both of us was just like stopped out and almost like just a little bit after. So
Yeah,
there's still
super choppy.
tons of pullbacks. And I've tried also some pullback buys, which some has worked actually, but it's just hard because those small stop loss percentages, if you take too many, it just chop you up. And I've given back my small gains for January, so now I'm a little bit on the minus side, which is just I'm stepping off a bit, and taking it easy. I think I did 45 trades in January, which was too many, and I want to just slow down a bit right now. I think that's the right move.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even take a trade last week, and this week I took 3, and
Yeah.
didn't have any success. I was down about 0.5% this week, so everything it wasn't big stop outs or anything like that. One of them I took the full, like how I said it initially is down 1% from where I go in, because I'm doing, sorry, I'm doing about 30% position sizes because, as you know, always I'm trying to capitalize on when I do get in. But the one actually hit for a full 1% down, so that one took a third of a percent. So that one hit me hard, and then the other two were smaller. They weren't. One actually was break even. The one that you're talking about with BW, but the other one was down a little bit too. So it's whatever.
Yeah,
But,
it's just hard right now, and we were talking a little bit about the chart here, and where we maybe think that the first stop will be, and I saw some guy compared it to, if you don't need to do it now, then, but if anyone watches, if you go back to 1996, there's a little bit of a similar pattern, and then it did pull back to the 200-day moving average, and then went up from there. So it's just like. I think maybe you have to get that.
why aren't these updated? 1997. Take it. Oh, I gotta pick a number. That's why. Keep going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just.
No, I think you're gonna get at least a pullback to the 200-day moving average. Yeah, look there. Pretty similar, right?
Yeah, and if you just historically look at the NASDAQ, it's very rare besides like some major points it breaks the 200. A lot of times it taps off it. And I mean, you can go, I've looked through almost the entire history of it just to see how much of an indicator it is. If it truly breaks it, it usually can get pretty ugly. There's some times where you can see a pretty big collapse. I mean, this was at 1,200 and got down to 1,000. So what is that? Like a 25% decrease somewhere in there. So, But other than that, I mean, you know, you have to get to like 2000, like, you know, like when there's like a big crash, like 2000, and then let's do. Was it already crashed in 2000 or was it after that?
It was if you go to 2003, I think you will see.
2003. Oh my God, what is going on with this thing? Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this is.
yeah,
I mean, literally. I mean, it inverts. If you ever see the moving averages in an index reverse, be out of everything.
yeah,
Like this
yeah.
right
No,
here, when this somehow flips below these, somewhere in here, you should be like hesitant to do anything. These should never
yeah,
reverse. It's a bad sign.
yeah. And since we are in a choppy period, I've seen also traders who have massive success who also short, and they say it's very hard to short as well, you know, because you get these days where it's like I feel like Friday yesterday just sums up the entire move since October. It was first up, then it was down, then it was up again. You know, it's impossible.
Right. No, I mean, it's like I said. If you're just looking at the regular market right now and look at all this distribution, I mean, this is
Yeah,
my signal. I mean, that's really what
yeah,
I'm looking at. I mean, yeah, the moving averages are great. You can see where they break and stuff like that. But I think honestly, and it's not like I came up with this. O'Neill talks about this a lot. Um, you know, the distribution is what you should look for if you're trying to see if a market's going to hold up or if it's which way it's going to flip. And like here
yeah.
to me, this just screams that we're going to go lower. Um,
It's just also clear if you just look at the colors on your volume bars there. It's a clear change since you know February there, and maybe even for a longer time. It's way more red and
yeah.
constantly red.
Yeah, which you know, this is just a lot in a row. I mean, the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks have been really tough. So,
And you can go and look like the giga caps have been pulling the index for a long time, right? And that's pretty normal. But if you go and look at the Apple and all those charts looks pretty nasty as well right now. So there are like I think we spoke about it a lot in the last weeks, but there are a lot of signs that we will get a drop.
right.
Um, yeah,
And I mean, you can see too, like this, you know, and I was talking about the indicators flipping, like the 100 almost flipped on this one, but you can tell, you know, I mean, it was already in a recovery state at that point. But if it gets up to here and then was to break down again and that 100 breaks below that, that's like a real warning sign. And I'm just talking historically, and I'm not saying to trade or do anything on that knowledge, but if you look at the charts, it doesn't look good ever. So,
yeah,
and that's usually all of the major breakdowns, you know,
yeah,
that the Nasdaq has when there's like truly like a crash, like what we would call a crash, not just a pullback.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I
so
wouldn't mind like a little bit of a reset, to be honest. But I think it would be healthy. But yeah, let's see what happens.
yeah, I mean, you know, this has just been a sideways market, and if anything, this is the first time I feel like even in this sideways market, there was a lot of trading you could do. This was not a bad period in here, from
Yeah,
November to even I would argue through January. I saw plenty of good trades going on. This first
yeah,
2 weeks of February, the first time that like I would say there's a lot more breakdowns than breakouts. The breakouts are weak. A lot of them really pull back, and even in this sideways period, I mean, I wasn't really swing trading. Maybe full on day trading in terms of like I'll hold it for the entire day, but usually by the end of the day I was already out. I wasn't trying to do anything crazy.
yeah.
And other than that, like if I go to my dashboard here, there's not a ton going on. Bitcoin had a little bit of a base fine, maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting to follow. We also looked a little bit on the gold and the metals and also Bitcoin before the stream. And for me, there's just a lack of volume coming in. Yeah, I would expect a little bit more to come into the crypto space, but it's
Well,
not
we'll
like
see.
massive volume. Actually.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we were just talking about gold before the stream because that's the only other thing is the minerals and you know the miners. Those all look pretty good. I would
Yeah,
argue that this is a decent setup still.
yeah, yeah,
So you know, if gold can break back out, I think we're actually in a really bullish looking period for gold. So I don't know. I think it could be if the indexes start to really push down, maybe enough people move into gold just to hedge. It'll cause a breakout here. So
Yeah.
just something to
But then,
watch because that's like the only place I kind of see some strength right now.
then you would see way more volume coming in as well.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look, you got, and this was just Friday, but Friday's a good example because Friday, like nothing looked great. I mean, there was a few movers, but if you look at my market strength for Friday, my numbers are all down. I created a 5-day moving average, which just is just taking into account like going backwards, and
Yeah.
I kind of like it because sometimes like this gets choppy on the daily one just because you have one good day and then a bad day and one good day and a bad day, so it's like all over the place. So I kind of wanted to create my own moving average for this, so that this last column got added in here. But I mean, I only had 4 breakouts,
Yeah.
on Friday, and
Which is very
that's not it's not saying like it's an easy clean breakout. You have to understand that that's just something in hindsight. I said if you traded this, there was a chance you could have made money on it. That's all I'm looking at. But I mean, you
Yeah.
go back to like this period in here where almost for a week you had anywhere from around 10 to up to 20 things
Yeah.
to catch, which in that environment, I mean, trades are just that much easier. So, and
Yeah.
so far, I mean, even if you look at the entire year, it's not been great. I mean, there's not been a ton.
No.
This isn't like a solid period for doing it. I will say, if you look at stuff like at 1-month highs, this period was great, and now you've just seen it trail right back down to the weakness that we saw at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are different things I'm watching. I mean, look at Thursday. Thursday, for instance, I only had 70 stocks that were up 4 to 7%. I mean,
Thursday was terrible.
that is super, super low. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get these recovery days because, like, I had the same thing here, and then on the next day, everything just kind of bounced back a little bit, coming off one of those moving averages or whatnot. So, but this is,
But
it's,
also,
what'd you say?
also from the last day of January there till today, you have like 3 of those days, which is also a sign, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all of it. It's not like I use this in any one way. I'm kind of paying attention.
Yeah.
But you can see that the trend right now is just negative. I mean,
Yeah.
I use the colors. You can quickly look
Yeah.
at it and just kind of say like, yeah, it's getting red. But that's the thing. 1 month, 3 month. The 1 year, the 6 month. This is holding up the 1.5 year, but you have to think this is relating probably to somewhere in this period. So this is a lagging indicator. So
Yeah,
it lets
yeah.
you know that like this move is possibly coming to an end.
Yeah. If you pull up the ETF XLE, then that's the one bullish thing. It's a few more, but this is like a clear.
Yeah, energy. You're right. Energy has been killing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. There are some more like some. I saw some like some car auto things and also some of the consumer. If you go to XLP, looks good, it's very strong.
True.
But
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there is other sectors that are doing really well.
Yeah.
This chart, I mean, what a great chart to go off if you're gonna.
Yeah, very
I
very
really should
strong.
trade
but,
ETFs. I don't trade ETFs. I really should start throwing these into my mix.
yeah, you can go in with more a higher position maybe in some of these, and just ride. If you participate in those strong moves up there, that's also good gains for your portfolio.
Yeah. Well, I also think sometimes just the fact that these are indexed, they tend to have a little bit cleaner of moves.
Yeah.
Like there's just not as much volatility as you'll see. And don't get me wrong, probably for that reason, some of these aren't investable until the ADR starts to increase. But
Yeah.
when you have this initial, flag pattern here where it, pops up and then breaks, and yeah, it did give like a false breakout first, but this never broke. I mean, this, if you put like a support line here, it never really broke it. It just kept tapping it, and then super clear pattern. This is great swing trading territory. You really can trade this for a few days.
Yeah. And one more IYZ US telecom service. Look at the volume on Friday then.
Yeah, that's a lot of volume.
Yeah. So a little bit weaker move, but consistently been doing well. And I also found some individual stocks in my screens lately in this sector. But I just found it interesting that last on Friday that was crazy volume.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so there are some spaces that you can maybe focus on right now, but also you can argue like maybe they are coming to an end soon.
Well, I would argue too, though, as bullish as this candle looks, I also wonder, is this a shitload of selling into strength?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Because
know,
it did touch the 10-day as well.
Yeah.
So there are some technical signs there too, and it could very well be selling into strength, like this signals a top for this one. I mean, if you go from April, where it kind of started, it's up. This is a ADR in my sheet of 1.77, and it's up 63% from there. So that's a lot for something like that.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, you know, I don't know how many of these would actually pop into my screener just because I do have such a high ADR. But with that being said, there is some pretty clean breakouts. Like when this one starts to, you know, when this moves up here and then starts to trickle upwards there, you could definitely have gotten in on any of these days. Then this could have been on your radar.
And you know, if you're interested, like you can find something that is 2x this, and like versions to that is more leveraged.
Yeah,
It's
you
risky.
can use the different derivative ones.
Yeah, but they exist. I need to. I'm not allowed to trade them in interactive brokers because of some rules, so I can't do that. But yeah.
Oh, I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? Anything else on the dashboard? Like I said, I saw some of the different minerals. You know, miners are all up. Utilities were whatever.
Yeah.
Some random stuff. Shipping. I don't know why shipping is doing. What's wrong with?
Oh yeah, I did get some shipping companies up actually.
What's going on with the shipping chart? Well, it also had a big down day and kind of bounced back. So maybe not necessarily. And I stole this from RK. This is just Moeller Maersk, which is just a big shipping company. So it's kind of a way to measure it because there wasn't. I don't. Maybe there's an ETF now. Actually, I should probably double check that. Do you have a shipping ETF?
No, I have the same as you. But
Okay.
I did notice individual shipping stock that I recently added to one of my lists, which is PANL, and I also had ZIM before that, ZIM, but PANL.
What was the first one?
PANL.
Yeah,
Just
all
like
these look good.
something, yeah. So those are the two that popped up in my screens. And I know SIM, there's a potential buyout or something there as well, like a rumor. So I don't know.
Trade on the rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at Zim in
But
a
some
while.
strong move.
I've looked at Zim before, but I haven't looked at it in a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, I did see that.
But yeah, other than that, Transocean that's another one I know. Well, actually, no, Transocean's that's the oil riggers. I guess it is shipping in a way though. But these are actually like the ships that go around.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but all of these looks pretty good. If you also do XOM, Exxon Mobil, or whatever the name is.
yeah, they've been just going up for forever.
That's a strong move, right? But also maybe
It's
a
massive
top,
company
you know.
to have this move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, these are obviously the cycles that are still working right now, despite what the indexes are doing is, and this is why I always say I always think it's bottom up is the best way to invest. Particularly individual stocks, but at the next level up, industry and sector are before it because when the whole market's down, obviously it pulls on everything, but you can find leaders and whatnot by looking at the sectors and.
I have scrolled through a lot of these individual companies included in these ETFs and stuff like that. But my issue with it, in terms of what I'm trying to do now, is like there's so many tickers with a low ADR.
Yeah.
So it gets a bit hard to find one that you're happy with the ADR, plus it gives you a setup and it looks strong. But they do exist. Like I've been talking about BOD for some time, and I tried BOD a couple of places, but I got shaken out, and it has actually gone up 20% since I've tried it. So I just couldn't stay in it, but it did work out. And they're going to have earnings this coming week. So I would probably sell out here, but there are some tickers you can screen for and try.
Yeah, I'm just looking at insiders right now, and it looks just like still like a lot of like tech and biotech, specifically. Uh, there is some freight type stuff. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything.
Yeah.
And there's still a decent amount of insider buys. Like I'm actually surprised there's this many names right now, just because it looks to me like not a great time to be buying anything. But then again, that's not to say that companies always time their buys intelligently here.
No,
But,
we have seen very many examples of that.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still kind of mixed. Like, this is just like the daily movers, and like everything still looks kind of mixed to me in terms of what's actually up.
Yeah. I saw coin. What was it with coin now? Oh, coin looks ugly. Like Bitcoin.
Gosh,
And
everything in the crypto space has just gotten smacked. I mean,
but check out Hood as well. And I think I read something about
I'm interested to see Hood's affected so much by it. Are they just? I know they cover everything, but is a huge chunk of their market crypto?
Yeah, I did read something about it, but I don't remember what it was. But it was connected to Bitcoin and something like the people weren't allowed to buy there anymore. Something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I would actually think, even though crypto's gone down, Hood would benefit from just the sheer amount of volume of people trading.
Yeah.
Because don't they
It
make
it
money on
says
the
here.
spread? Isn't that how Hood works?
Yeah, they sell the data, don't they?
I don't know if it's just data, but I always thought that they were like market makers, so they steal like a penny, here and there
Oh yeah, yeah,
when you take a transition. But
yeah. It
I
says
honestly
here
don't
on
remember. I just know that they're shady in terms
one
of the way they do
article is
things.
saying Robinhood stock is now trading almost exactly like Bitcoin, but it really shouldn't be. I'm not going to read it, but yeah, it really does. But
Do
it looks even
they
worse.
do they own Bitcoin, and is that why? Is it did they put their money in Bitcoin?
Probably right.
I would think they have to, because otherwise why would it trade along so closely with Bitcoin? Like, I mean, you look at like Master, because they're all Bitcoin. I
Yeah.
would think, like I said, I would think the volume of sell, even though it's selling, would be beneficial to Robinhood either way. They just want volume. The more transactions for Robinhood, the better.
It says here, Coinbase, Robinhood, Ripple CEOs joins CFTC's beefed up advisory crew to set rules for the golden age of markets. The list includes several more crypto CEOs and top executives in the prediction market space. So it seems like, yeah, they are very tied to that.
Oh, and was it Robinhood that's trying to get into prediction services, like that Kalshi or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is, to me, I think this is like bullshit, because I get it, I get the discrepancy, but the fact that you can just gamble on whether something goes up or down, and they call it a derivative, but I mean anything can you. I don't think that's a financial thing. I think that's a joke. However, that's the terminology is, because like I just think it's insane that you can say, well, because I'm not actually causing an actual, like, I'm not betting on like the price going up or down. Like we're just letting people be able to make that choice. I think that's insane that that's how the legislation reads that, and that they don't consider that gambling.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think Hood said that they were working on trying to do the same thing because they know there's a huge market for it. Just being able to say whether something's going to go up or down. But like that means anything. Like it could be how many times you and I stream a week. It could go up or down. Like you can bet on anything, and that's why I get it. They're not the ones actually setting the market price. They're just saying you can just choose whether something will go up or down. But to me, that sounds a lot like gambling.
it says here in terms of Hood, dismissed analyst expectation of 1.32 billion. Biggest detractor from Robinhood's revenue compared to expectation was sales generated from crypto transactions, which came in at 221 million, down 38% year over year.
So maybe it's just the fact that there's even though there's selling, it's just not as much actual bulk transactions.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's forced to trade with Bitcoin because of the lack of volatility.
And then, of course, MicroStrategy. I've seen some really stupid interviews from that guy Sailor lately.
Here, guys, let's just make it look good. All right, there you go. Keep going.
Yeah, that's probably. No, he just talks like there's no risk involved.
I mean,
You know?
if I was involved in the company, I'd say the same thing.
Yeah. And what did he say? Because they're gonna start paying a dividend, and he said like, I'm basically paying you, and there's no risk while you're waiting to get rich because Bitcoin is going to go up again.
The risk is this looks like a beautiful chart, except the chart's upside down, guys. So it looks horrible.
And look at it
It
last
looks like
time,
it's setting up to drop again.
like in 26th of January there, then when it did break out on this reverse chart, it just perfectly set up, right?
Yeah.
For breakout in the wrong direction.
Yes. Once again, guys, here's the regular chart. But when you're looking at this, that's why I like to just for eyeball sake, because sometimes it helps me to see it. It looks great as a short.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's extended right now, so I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon. Don't take anything I say as trading advice or anything. But
And I also saw an interview where he said that if Bitcoin falls down to 8,000 or he said 8,000 or even zero, they will just go and refinance the debt and the problem is fixed. And the lady asked him, who will do that for you? And he just couldn't answer.
you don't need to have answers for these things.
No, no. You just need a belief.
Yeah.
Oh, Max is in the chat then. He's saying, hi guys.
Hey, what's up, Max? How you been?
Started some puts on Coinbase, looking for a buy. Coinbase. Okay.
Yeah, puts have been. I mean, does it find a base here? I still think Bitcoin finds a base here, just because if you look at, BTC, for I think it was like on like a 3-year chart. There's just so much support from this. Like this whole year, I mean, there's so many people who must have a cost basis around here to sell off and take finally a loss after all this time. I just don't see it breaking through this section. Maybe. I'm not saying it can't drop low. I mean, there's days it got down to 50,000, so it can push lower, but I don't think it breaks through this section. If it does, I mean, then all bets are off in terms of where crypto ends up.
Yeah. Who knows where it's going to stop then?
Yeah.
Max is saying maybe in IGV software ETF are some chances now to buy. It got heavily sold off. IGV, is that a ticker or?
What was it? IGV?
Yeah, IGV, expanded tech software sector ETF.
Oh wow. This is following the same
Yeah.
idea here. This actually follows the Bitcoin chart like
Yeah.
strangely well.
But I have seen like I said this to you before the stream. Then like if Bitcoin goes down to maybe retest close to 60, where it kind of reversed a little bit, and you know the general market is starting to look better. I think 2026 can be a good year to swing trade some Bitcoin related things because I think it will go up then. But who gives a shit about what I think? But it's definitely something to just monitor in this time because
Yeah, I mean, we'll have plenty of time to figure it out because number one, all the moving averages have to reassess.
yeah,
It's going to take time. I mean, it's gonna be a few months before I even think Bitcoin's truly tradable. I mean,
yeah,
at least maybe like 1 to 2 months. I'm not saying it can't turn around, but and same thing with the tech. Like I know this is kind of like an AI sell off probably, and some of the companies haven't had like the sky high earnings and whatnot, so it's just tech's pulled back in general. But I still think there's a lot of potential. I feel like if so many people talk about a bubble doesn't form until it's much crazier than this. Bubbles form when stuff like if we go up another 100% on like the Nasdaq or something like that. That's when all of a sudden like it's gotten crazy. But we're not there yet. I mean, it is what it is. I still think we're just trading around. But
yeah,
I would argue I mean when I look at this to me looks like we're gonna at least push down for another, I don't know. It just doesn't look great. I wouldn't be heavily trading right now.
yeah,
Or smaller position sizes, lower your risk, whatever you're doing. That seems to make sense to me right now.
yeah.
But other than that, I mean that's kind of what I see. I'm not holding anything right now. Like I said, I was
Yeah.
down
Same.
about half
I'm
a
all
percent
cash
this
right
week.
now.
Even if you look at like weekly movers, I don't know why this doesn't update this. I got to figure out where that's supposed to be pulling the weekly change. This was the weekly movers, so these are correct. I
Yeah.
just don't know what the percentage they were up on. It's like all biotech. It's all
Yeah.
healthcare, biotech, basically.
Some home builders, that's related to Trump, right? And his news about what is it? Do you know, Dave?
To be honest, I've heard it secondhand, and
Yeah,
I just think they're trying to make it more affordable. They're possibly talking about rates going down more and providing
yeah,
other ways to make it easier for home buyers. So and in general, the home market has slowly went down, so it's becoming a little bit more of a buyer's market, but it's still not. It's still expensive. I mean, it's really expensive.
yeah,
And then and like when I look at weekly stuff down, like the down list looks it's bigger than the up list for weekly. So it just goes to show you there's a lot of stuff that's just taking huge hits when it doesn't work.
yeah.
But what else we got going on here? I pulled in a few names based on buys, but I don't know if there's anything really going on. I mean, it's a biotech, so like I was actually gonna just try and look at the news on this one. Yeah, this is a market cap of 10. I don't know if that's right, but I mean, this is nonsense. More nonsense. See, like these are all the ones that actually have insider buying that
Yeah.
maybe you could look into and try and figure out more with. But I got to go into the narrative on these ones because everything financially is like, yeah, they have cash, but they're burning through it. Like what was the one I was on this before?
And they're not
I
generating
mean,
any.
look at their cash, like what it's done per share as times went on here. I mean, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So, what I mean, that's normal for a lot of these kind of companies, but
Also, a massive share count go from 1 to 5 million.
yeah, which this is probably a newer company anyway, so they're just trying to get
Yeah.
going. And
Yeah.
where markets used to be, you want to put yourself in the right position, and you were a growing company before you went public. Now people are trying to become a company by going public. You know what I mean? Like it gets to that point. So, but IPOs they still work. People still invest in IPOs, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So, but that's I think just the change in venture capital.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't really have all that much. I mean, I can pull up my current list because I will say, like, if you go, like you were saying, I still have a decent amount of charts that I think look good. Whoops.
Yeah.
And once again, it seems to be a lot of the same sectors. ALMS is just perfectly holding up here. It's a pharmaceutical. Same thing. Anro has got a little bit of a cup and handle here, is what I'm watching on that. The miners all look like they're setting up. Same with gold. So I'm curious to see if it can make another move. I'm not real confident, but some of the semiconductors, I would argue, of the tech space. Is there anything else besides semiconductors that you see are doing well?
They have been strong on the heavy down days in generals. They have been very strong actually.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you're looking into the tech area, that's the one area I feel like looks pretty good still. BE's kind of holding up, but that's a really choppy chart. So I
Yeah.
got it in here just because it's kind of held its lows, but it's not
Yeah.
great. Another bio. BW, this is the other one that it's just been super tight, so I'm just keeping an eye on this one. I think this one could break out one more time.
Yeah.
Another biotech. It obviously hasn't formed much of a handle, but that's the reason why I have it on here, is just watching and see what it does from here. And I will say all the moving averages are starting to align. They're not quite there yet, but looks good to me. And then, and also too, I mean, there's been some big buys.
Yeah, some more crazy days there.
Yeah.
But
So just
followed up by a big drop.
Yeah. Which, that could be someone, getting out. I'm not so, that it happens. They sell into the strength. But that's the thing, is as you sell into that strength and these are the last of the weak hands getting out, then all of a sudden, the next time you see a buy, it takes a little bit longer for it to break down. It takes a little bit longer for that selling to kick in and push something back down. So that's something I feel like you can watch and you can see the strength start to build in terms of a positive momentum. Now that I'm looking at my list, I'm like, yeah, it is all biotech that's really moving crazy here. This one's just holding on that 50. It's the only reason I'm even keeping an eye on it. Same thing. This is a little overextended here, so I'm not sure if it can pop up from here, but just keeping an eye on it. Another miner,
yeah.
same thing,
Yeah.
just consolidating a little bit. Broke down to the 200 and found some strength off that, so...
Wolf looks very similar, but Wolf kind of did have its breakout already.
Yeah, I believe I removed that from my list. But I
Yeah,
mean, all these,
and
these are all biotech. That's like the one area I see that there's still a decent amount of investment coming into, where you have a high enough ADR that you can get into some of these.
Yeah.
Eris has been really strong. It's pharmaceuticals. There's another one that it's a choppy chart, so I don't love this one, but it looks like it could set up a little bit of a handle here and possibly go higher. But I have no comment. I literally just added this, so I'm more just curious to watch it. Are you still in Goro?
no, I got stopped on it on Thursday, I think it was. But I did make money on that one of the few.
Yeah, I mean this chart looks great. I mean, it's still setting up nicely.
Yeah, I just placed it back on my daily watch list after I got stopped out because um, and this is a high ADR stock as well.
Yeah, and this is another one. I mean, you see this huge sell off here, but it's followed right up by buyers.
Yeah,
So there is a lot of interest in this. It's kind of rare that you have that big of a candle and then it follows up with a strong buy going
yeah,
forward. So,
yeah,
which I mean, in general, I know gold's gone up, so it's just kind of matching gold. But IMX, this is another one that looks like it's really a long kind of cup and handle here that maybe is forming here. So if it can break above that, upper 7 range, this could break out pretty well.
yeah.
Light, you did you try light this week?
No, I missed it.
Right now it just looks like it's moving sideways. It's the only reason I'm focused on that one.
Yeah,
I had this on my list and I took it off because of this day it broke out again here. It was a really nice consolidation. If you consider this the base and that coming down when it first broke out, I didn't catch this one, but it was on my list and I was watching it. Just another moving sideways. This one I'm just watching, see what it does on that 50. If it can hold up above the 50. If not, this will probably... There's a lot of distribution coming in right now.
yeah. I was gonna say a lot of selling there.
So this one, it's like on my list one day, and then I take it off, and then it comes back. So it's
Yeah,
like kind of holding on, but who knows? SNDK is super strong. It's a big stock. Um,
yeah, but it had earnings on 29th of January, and then the day after it went up a lot, but it did pull back a lot, and then it kind of moved just straight sideways from there. It does look like a good setup right here, but are you not worried like on the earnings that it did pull back and then just sideways?
I don't care at all. I just watch the chart.
Yeah,
Like, well, don't get me wrong. That's what's going to force someone, like someone's making their decisions off of that. So yes, if it breaks down here, and this is another one that, somewhere in here, it wasn't on my list. And then I see it, come back up, and now it's still just kind of finding that consolidation, making a base up here. So I'm just curious to see where it goes. But I don't think this setup is broken down in any means. I mean, it's a little extended right now. That's the only thing I see is, it's probably going to take some time before it finds the next move.
yeah. This is
Like
one
I
of
can
those.
almost picture that we're somewhere right here, and pulls back, and or just keeps moving sideways, something along this region, where it's going to take some time. Just another setup, just tightening right now. Just seeing if this one can do anything. This one breaks out pretty strongly. Yeah, so I mean, you can see my entire list is literally miners and basically biotech or pharmaceuticals. I gotta look at VTY. I keep this on my list, and I know it's not doing anything, so I don't know if this is just gonna if it's being bought or if it's just the price has just been locked in here. Like if you look at the daily chart on this, you can tell it's all just algorithms because it's just like up down up down up down, and it's in the same exact range, so it's not really being traded at all. I should probably just take that off my list. I saw Western Digital looked decent. I thought this is a pretty good looking setup.
Yeah, I agree. I put it on the list. Also, another one who I told you right on Thursday, which was a rough day in the markets. This one was up, I think, 12% or something, but it did end up the day pulling back a lot, which just gives you another chance to take it if it happens again, I think.
Yeah, but that's what they always talk about. This one's the one it's bobbing up. Even when the markets are down, this one's trying to push higher.
Yeah,
There's
very
still good
strong
support
now.
coming in.
Yeah,
So that's like a sign. That's like the sign of accumulation you're trying to see.
yeah,
And I would say it looks a little extended, but I mean it's followed this path all the way down from the 50s. So I
yeah.
mean we're talking we're at a
In terms of the thing I use, it's actually not extended. It is a little bit on the weekly chart, but on the daily, it's trading below 4 times its ATR percents above the 50-day.
Gotcha.
So that's a good number.
But I mean, what a strong move. It's a 5-bagger
Yeah,
from
very
back
strong
in
move.
May.
Yeah. How is it from April till the highest point? Almost 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to April and go down to 30, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it's up 900%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you called the bottom there, nice move.
And just like a tight and nice chart, right?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
the
that's
way.
the kind of chart that, like, man, if you can catch that on a swing trade and just hold it, I mean, you just you basically are doing like the investment style with a swing trade, and it might take a long time, but you're talking 900% a year, or even if you can't
Yeah.
capture that, capture 500% in a year. I mean, that's
Yeah.
an incredible amount if you can put a decent size of your portfolio in it.
And this one also gave you like a lot of setups. If you go to 22nd of August, for example.
Oh yeah, no, this one had plenty of setups. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many spots in here that you could draw patterns and get into it. So I mean, yeah, there's maybe times you would have got chopped out, but yeah, if you could have got back in here on one of these initial earlier setups,
Yeah. That would be beautiful.
yeah.
Max is asking then, how do you find stuff like Western Digital a year ago?
Well, it depends. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be super easy to come up, and especially in this period, you're talking April. Everything was down in April. I mean, the whole markets were down. So, the one way, if you're going to screen to try and find these ones, I mean, you want to find what bounces back strongest. So I'm not saying you're going to know, when it's at $30 to buy this. But when it goes up to 50 and it's only been like a week or, two, well, let's say a month. It's been a month and it's up almost a double. That should be a strong enough stock when you're screening for things. Make sure you're screening for stuff that has a decent dollar volume, which if you look in here, I mean, the dollar volume is really high. Even if, it was at $35 and you got almost 20 million shares moving, that's an incredibly high amount of dollar value being purchased. And then on top of that, you have like a 30-40% move. This should be popping up on however you have your screeners set up if you're looking for momentum stocks.
I think it's a very good question, Max, and one area that I decided I need to fix this in my swing trading strategy, because last year 2025 I didn't have the screens. I didn't have a system in terms of screening for strength to find these. So when I have been looking back at the year in hindsight, I wonder, and I ask myself, how the hell did I miss some of these? Because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
And everything is obvious in hindsight, but still, these are the stocks you have to find. And I don't think you would find it maybe a year ago, but you should find it by screening with after strength, in April, May. It should pop up on some of your screens. And for me personally, the changes I have made in terms of that is to try to copy from Kulamagi. He says he uses like daily. He screens after the market close for 1 month gainers, 3 month gainers, and then 6 month gainers. And he kind of say that's it. Even though we know he uses more screens like that, he makes it a point that all you kind of need is those to just monitor strength. And this would come up in one of those screens in April and May because of that bounce back, which a lot of stocks and a lot of charts have that pattern. But then, like Dane say, also like look for the dollar volume and stuff like that to try to filter out noise. And I think I'm very confident this would pop up in some of the screens back then.
Yeah, I just want let's just go to like June. So, I mean, if you look in here, I mean, this is a zoomed in chart from this time period, but I would imagine you're not going to capture this move here most likely, just because I don't know if there's enough there to have that pop up on some of your screeners. Maybe it would if you have the 1 month screener and you don't have it too strict. But I would argue by the time it gets to here and you're seeing this cup and handle form, because now, that's a setup here, but the real setup is kind of this, you know, it's kind of a V shape, but it's really more of a cup is how I'm thinking of this. And then you see that slow sideways movement. When you see that on this should be on your radar. And this stays a little hard to capture because it did jump up, but I would argue that somewhere in this day you could have gotten in on it. If you were following that chart intraday here, there should have been an entrance for this one. And then once again, same thing. It just moves sideways. Has another thing. This is another day you could have caught it. On any of those days, I still consider this a sideways pattern, even though it moved up a little bit. So this is another day you could have caught it. Any of these time periods, those should have been on your screeners. And don't get me wrong, same thing that Johnny's saying. I didn't have my screener set up properly like I do now. I would not miss this one going forward. So it's tough to say, and I hope my big thing is too, because I like I said, I trade by mostly day trades essentially instead of swing trades just in the markets right now. So I would hope that by the point I get to this for here, I would be bullish enough that maybe I would hopefully hold some of this for a swing trade and be able to capture, obviously the longer move. But it's tough to say, where I would be at that point. But maybe somewhere in here, then, I would actually turn it into a swing trade as I watch it multiple times break out.
Another point on that, Dane, what you just showed also with the gap ups, it kind of gap ups up through all the SMAs, right?
True. Yeah,
Which just shows
if you're just looking for a
incredible
bullish
strength.
signal, I mean, it broke the 200, and then
Yeah.
even it takes until June for the moving averages to all get in the right direction. But then,
Yeah.
I mean, you have so much strength here. This barely breaks the 10 ever.
Yeah. And even if you miss it in that time period and the potential buying points that you outline here, if you wait till, like I said earlier, 22nd of August, you will still catch a huge amount of this move.
Yeah, I mean,
which is in that area, it
there.
is already up 166%, and then it definitely shows up in those scans, right? So
And even if you
there
got
are,
in at like 75, I mean, that's still a four bagger.
yeah, that is still like potential, like those moves are the ones that move the portfolio. And even from there, after 22nd of August, the ants show up in my sheet, and just look at the volume. And that's also like the stock has proven itself before that point by delivering fantastic earnings as well.
Right.
Which is kind of what that gap up and then the sideways move that gives you the opportunity on 22nd of August comes from. So then you have a stock that has gapped up through the SMAs. You show it has showed strength. It delivers on the earnings, and then it's actually setting up and getting really tight. And I would even still consider that an early entry in WDC.
Yeah.
So and then definitely in terms of the screens we are talking about now, this would show up in some of those screens.
Yeah,
but Max asked another question. Then he says, so the great opportunities for momentum plays come with sell-offs in the broad markets or good news like earnings.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's historically always been the case. I mean, obviously earnings are one of the major factors in actually changing a company's outlook, and growth investors, value investors, everybody looks at that. Traders, everybody sees better earnings. Everybody knows that that's just a bullish sign. Now, I know earnings can be manipulated, but in general, if something's to work out this well, it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying people can't be fooled across the board, but it's rare that everyone's fooled because no one looked into those earnings well enough to know that those aren't, really supportive of the company doing well. Plus, just the industry it's in is doing well. So there's a lot going for this.
That was another point. It's like in Finwiz, it's grouped with computer hardware, so it's just like a strong theme for this entire period.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's kind of ironic because I see so much correlation between value and growth investors. Because, to be honest, the more I look at Buffett's style, Buffett is arguably kind of a growth investor. He just waits for the bigger pullbacks. So when Buffett's looking at some of this stuff, he's investing down here probably, if he liked this company, let's say, and I know he doesn't really do tech like this, so this is not necessarily like an apples to apples comparison, but he would be looking at companies like this, seeing that the earnings are doing well, the whole market's pulled back, and then he's looking for that strength, and he gets in on one of these things, and that's where to everyone else it looks like he's a genius investing in value, but he's also just getting into a growth company when it's sold off. So if you look back historically and you look at some of the PE ratios he gets in and what the companies have done, Apple's a great example, obviously. People argue that he's so focused on value and that he's just a bona fide value investor. I really think Buffett takes growth into consideration, and he just focuses on when something pulls back. What is its moat? What is its how is its earnings held up during these periods? Is there any, what is management, and it's all the basic stuff, but that I think that's really, if you were a large institutional investor, if you take all those things into consideration and you really only put your big bets after sell-offs, you probably would do pretty well.
Max was also saying, and the stop should be trailed technically or mentally. I would close out the trade even after a double, but the stock made further 3 to 5x. Yeah, and that's like, I hear a lot of traders say that though, Max. It's never wrong to take profits, right? But there is a challenge to keep the winners run, and I think Kulamagi talks about it a lot. That I think he's very good at that. But also if you had sold after a double based on your selling rules, that would be fine, even if it went up 3 to 5x after, because I guarantee you can find 100 examples where that was not the case and you kind of made the right decision, right?
Yeah, Max, it's like a careful balance of making sure that you're just doing whatever makes the most sense. And this is why it's important to follow this chart up. Like, probably really great traders, they look at this chart and they're focused just on that 50-day because they realize how rarely it breaks it. The one time it taps it, it fires right off of it. That, that's like the kind of thing, as you become a really good trader, you notice those nuances and you know how long to hold and when to trim these things. But even if no one's perfect and you can't capture the whole move. So like Johnny's saying, even if you captured 100%, you sold off. Number one, you got a double, so you should be happy with that. Number two, you can always go back in, so you might not capture this entire 5-bagger, but let's say you captured, 100% here, 100% here. Like, those are huge moves, and it's a way of, as long as your downside's being protected and you're sticking to your downside rules, the upside rules will do whatever they do. Would I argue on what is this, like the end of September here, if you sold into this strength, that's the wrong move? No, I probably would argue you're smart. And think about it. If you had sold off on somewhere in this day at like 130, and then you rebought a position on this day right around 130, you might have actually gained something because you might have bought a little bit lower than you had already sold at. So there's arguments all the way up on how you can trade these things. It's just whatever your rules are, just make sure you're very clear on them. And then that way you're always going to get the most out of the situations whenever you're going in or out of something.
I think also a double in swing trading, it's not normal.
No.
Those don't, you talk about it like they can happen, and we see it can happen with the WDC here and multiples of that as well. But 100% move, because this is in a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
And by sticking to your sell rules and stuff like that, it rarely happens actually. But when they do, like if you sell out and it continues to go up, it's still a fantastic trade, because normally you make trades that are like, if they go in your favor, we are talking like 7%, 10%, 20%, 40%. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But then you get a 100%. That can change a year for you if you are positioned well and all that stuff, So realistically, like a double, it's something to celebrate, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that depends on your position size and your risk. I mean, that's how you set that up to whatever your benefit's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's just what you find comfort with. You know, like you're gonna learn what you can handle risk wise. Um, you have to work on your entrances. You know, my I've learned with my stop being so tight, my biggest focus is on my entrance because if I don't time it right, I just get stopped out almost immediately, which is
Yeah.
fine. I'm okay with that being like my downside, but that is my protection is to make sure that I'm not getting chopped on things as much as possible. Because even with it being tight, it still adds up. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
But once again, if you go back to WDC and you buy, let's say you time it like in the worst possible way for that day, 22nd of August. If you use the low day as a stop there, we are talking about 3% stop. So let's say then you size accordingly, so you get a 10% position in or something. Um, I- that's still a great move for the portfolio if you follow the sell rules and sell when it breaks maybe the 20-day then,
right.
or something like that. Um, but also um, probably you're not going to time it in the worst case there on that day. So I would assume if I saw this again setting up like there, I would get at least 20% in, I think, I hope, which then I'm good, if that goes up 100% in that short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Even like the indexes, like the strongest index years are somewhere between 20 and 30%. So if you're getting that in one move, I mean, you've just basically guaranteed your year um,
Yeah,
on a move like
it,
that. So
yeah, that will take care of so many losses.
yes. So the trades are far and few in between, but you don't need to hit many. And that's why like, it sounds like some of these people are like gurus, but you think about it, if you take like he's saying like a 20% position and you capture two of these in a year, um,
Yeah, which is
it just makes for a huge year.
yeah, which is realistic, but it's still not the normal gain.
Right, and that's the other thing too is like, and that's why Minervini and all those guys say their average is probably usually between 10 and 20% on swing trades,
Yeah,
and I think that's a fair number. I easily could see getting between 10 and 20% all the time, and but
yeah,
that's even really good. I mean that adds up, and as long as you scale up your positions as the year goes on, I mean every week if you imagine if you just got 2% every week. I mean, it doesn't take long that you become like a millionaire. And I'm not saying it's easy. Trust me, I've been working on it as hard as I can. And this market right now is kind of choppy, but I was happy with my results in January. I was getting around 2 to 3% about a week. So I just need the markets to turn in to take advantage of it, and I should be able to get back there.
is it not like like they say if you get 5% per month, you're going to double your count in a year?
Oh, I'm sure
um
5% a
yeah,
month would be well, it's not bad at
yeah,
all. I
yeah.
mean that's about one
And
percent a week. 1% a week's pretty good.
yeah, so if you have that as a base, like Minervini and them talk about, and if you go on X, a lot of people at the end of year, they posted like their stats. So you can go and check their averages and stuff like that. These are good traders who does well in the investing championship and all that stuff. So it's real people, that has success. If you go and look at some of their stats, you get an idea of how many trades they do per year, how their average gain, average losses. So if you kind of have that 10% um, as a base, and then you limit the losses, these stocks are the ones that make you outperform,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
And also too, I know not a lot of people recommend this when you're starting or at least trying to figure out these numbers. Not that saying you're starting, because I know you've been doing this for a while, but if like Johnny's saying, if you know your average gain, let's say on your winners is 10 to 15%, you can base off all your numbers off of that. Like you know that's on average, let's say 25% of the time you get 10 or 15%. Well, that's how you know how much you can risk. You can do the calculation really quick to see how these add up and what your outcome is going to be if you're that consistent. So then it's just working on your style and sticking to your rules. Discipline's
Okay.
number one.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think in that If you figure out these numbers, your main focus should be to limit the downside, and just see how much of a difference a few adjustments can make in a year when you do that.
Yeah, and this is why I keep re-emphasizing, because Johnny will ask me, like, what would you do in this situation now, and like, well, how would you play this? And NVA was just such like a light bulb moment for me, because I started to get bullish on the stock, and I started to put other thoughts into it as opposed to just sticking to my trading strategy. Now, if I was investing it and I was treating it like an investment, maybe I would have a different philosophy on, and not necessarily think I did anything wrong. I'd probably still be maybe holding on to NVA or whatever, but hopefully not, because that would, now I don't know what I'd be down now, but it wouldn't be great. But with that being said, I should have just stuck to my trading strategy, which was, it had moved up and it would have pulled back and hit a stop, and I would have made money on that trade like I should have. I was up. And instead, I was like, oh, I'll just keep it at break even because I don't want to get chopped out on volatility. I could have gotten back in. There'd been another chance probably to get in, or just take other positions. That's the thing, is you're not always looking for these grand slams. I mean, you look at WDC here, and it's like so easy to be like, man, why didn't I just get in here and ride this all year? Yes, that would have been fantastic. Are you able to consistently do that, though? Most likely not. So because you can't consistently have that as your background strategy, I'm going to just take one stock and ride it all year. I mean, I guess you can get lucky with it, but it's super tough to do that. So just focus on what's realistic. It depends on your time frame too. I mean, that's why investors, you have to have that mentality that something can drop a lot more, because if your time frame's 5 years, who cares if it drops? Like, stuff's going to drop over the course of 5 years. It's just going to happen. But if you are an investor and you buy something like this and you're going to hold it for 5 years, I bet you're pretty pumped after this 1 year, So it's tough to say, but that's why whatever it is, whatever your time frame is, whatever your goal is, you have to just really pay attention to your trades and or your investments, and just see what you're getting and what you're getting for your losses. Because it's just math when it comes down at the end of the day.
Yeah, and for me, while I think it's very valuable to, while you are figuring this out and test things, it's very valuable to put your money in there so you can feel the emotions with real money in real time. But then slow down maybe on the sizing a bit, because this is not the most genius statement in the world, but if you blow up your account and it goes to zero, it's over,
Right.
And even if you shrink the account by a lot, it's going to be very hard to build, and it's going to take many years. So just always keep a focus on, because things can gap down on you as well.
Yeah.
So the downside is just like, that's the scary part, and that's if you try to limit the downside to, I think it's a guy called Christian Flanders that said this. If you take your trades and your stats for a year, try to adjust the bad month to whatever number it is, down to a minus 5% maximum, and see what kind of difference it makes in your portfolio overall in a year. And if you do that exercise, you will realize, like, if you just stop trading or take less position size when you are in a bad period, you will be very grateful when you finally catch some momentum and you are in a good period, because then your account will still be safe.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea just to limit yourself in bad trading environments, because if a month is going to be bad and you're sitting there trading similar to how you would in the better months, yeah, you're going to get chopped up. But if you put it at like he's saying, like at a 5% maximum, like if I'm down 5% on any given month, I stop trading that month. When you start up next month, if the markets have recovered by that point, because sometimes you just got to give it time, and it's hard to be patient. It's hard to like give yourself a reason to truly be patient and say, like, I'm not going to trade. So if you just put like a time frame and a number in terms of max loss, then you have to stick to that no matter what.
So Max is asking then, and do you have any special rules for stock or sector market cap selection because a Johnson and Johnson or Microsoft can't multibag so easy, or do you not focus on multibaggers? And he's continuing to ask like, or other said, do you focus more on momentum stocks with a good risk reward so the stock doesn't have to multibag?
Yeah, essentially, right now that's been my strategy. And with that being said, I just took Q's idea of having a high ADR. So I look for a decent ADR because as long as I think mine said it's 5%, 5 or 6, I wanted it to be pretty high. Um, so you got it. Like I said, you have to really work on your entrances because you're going to get chopped out of some of these things quickly. But my stop losses are at a maximum. I try and have it at 1%, which means if I take a 30% position size, which is typically my entrance lately, I'll take about a third of a percent loss if it actually hits that full amount.
Or the
Usually,
total?
when I'm buying in something, I kind of watch to see if the stock starts to move up pretty well. And if it's moving up over like the course of the 20 seconds, I'm like about to click buy. It usually shows to me there's like a lot of buyers right at that second, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'll take the buy, and then immediately I move that stock or that stop as quickly as I can close to where I bought in. Sometimes I can get it right, like, and I'm talking the stock doesn't have to be up by much. Let's say it's up by like 5 cents from where I bought. I just put it at break even because then I've just guaranteed it's at break even. And I know that sounds, I used to think, oh, that's stupid. You're just going to get stopped out. And yes, you do a lot. But you also guarantee the fact that you're not really going to get chopped up, which is just super important in doing this. It's by far and above everything that I've come to is if I had just consistently done that. Now, yes, I would have missed out on some names, but you're trying to. I keep thinking of it like why are like you might as well bet and have no downside. That's essentially what I'm trying to do is just eliminate my downside.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect, but if you're doing that just as a basis, you really can't get killed. Besides, like he's saying, with slippage or a gap down. But that's why I said in this market, since it's not super bullish, I'm pretty much out by the end of the day if I've held it all the way through, and that way I don't have to worry about the overnight gaps.
And in general, then just be careful around earnings and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you see earnings or that, I mean, well, and that's the thing too. Like right now with my style, I don't really worry about earnings because even if the earnings are the next day, I'm out by that night anyways. So I can pretty much trade on any day, and not get smacked by it. The only thing that could hit you is like if they put news out midday, but midday news is pretty rare. It's usually right before market opens or right when the market closes. Those kind of things are when the news comes out. So. It just kind of is what it is. But that way, like I said, I'm just working on protecting that downside.
Yeah. I think like I agree, and like I think we on the streams in some other streams that we have done, Dane, we have been discussing if we should have a market cap limitation or something like that, and I think both of us had just ended like, who cares about it anymore? It's like more like the average dollar volume plus the ADR,
Yeah, those.
and all the stuff that are ADR is like. Tulamagi says that if you have a small account, you should focus on a high ADR, and it's just due to the speed, the potential speed you're going to grow your account with. So that's why we both now have a cap on 5 ADR, but I also deal in like 4 ADR. But also you said like with Microsoft that they are harder to double, and I just brought up Google here now, which has a 3.26 ADR in my sheet. And from the April bottom to the price, the current price, it's actually up 113%. And even Google gives you a lot of setups in that time. So when your account is bigger, like these would be the dream stocks to trade, I think. And even with a small account, you can still maybe go in a bit more heavy than on some of these names and just accept that. Obviously, you're not going to catch that entire move that I just said, but you can still capture like a 20% move in these stocks, but it maybe takes a little bit more time. Maybe you get a lesser amount because due to your sell rules, you're going to be out before the entire move has finished or something like that. So You can still do like some of the lower ADR stocks, but our point with the entire stream and strategy is to try to speed up the process of growing the account. So that's, I think, why we just focus on like around 5 and up.
All the best traders, they all have similar rules, and once you start to learn it, you learn why they use those things and the benefit of doing that. And like ZBio, this is the last one on my current list of things I'm watching, and you can watch, like, for instance, Max, if you're on the Discord too, I post every morning before the market opens what my current list is. If you just look at those stocks, when we're in a good market, there's usually almost one or two every day that end up anywhere from 10 to 20% up. And that's in one day. So if I'm watching those stocks and I'm trying to get in anywhere around like 5% or lower, it's positive. I see it moving up. It's around 5%. It hasn't gapped up much more than that, or it pulls back to around 5%. Those are the two areas I try to look in around there. If it goes up another 5 or 15% from there, I can capture a good move in one day. And you see these stocks, like, look here. I mean, on this day, when this wedged here, you could get in on this at like $1.20. It ends the day around $2. Huge move in one day. But without having an ADR tracker, you're not like that. You're not focused on these kind of stocks that can just really move. This one's a little tougher over here. You maybe could have got in on this day, because I would argue this is cupping and handling. And even though these candles are all over the place, if you look at basically where it ends between these 2 days, if you just ignore this one candle here, it kind of holds up as that moving average is. So you technically could have maybe got in on this day if you're following like that. And then, this one has a multi-day move, which, like I said, I probably wouldn't capture that. But even if I caught just the first day, it's still a big gain. And same thing. I mean, you just watch it a bunch of times when it breaks out from some of these moves. Any of these captures. There's another one here. Where it starts to break out, and if you can get in somewhere around like this 540 mark, still getting decent moves in one day. So when you're looking at these stocks, it's not like they're always going to be that perfect WDC chart where it's going to keep working out, but you can capture any of these moves. And I'm doing what I do just because when I historically look back over the past like month or two or whatever I'm looking at, a lot of stuff breaks down the next day. It's not holding up. We're not seeing multi-day moves. If I start seeing a ton of stocks switch over to multi-day moves, I'll start really, instead of selling at the end of the day, I'll trim it at the end of the day or hold it for a few days. But I have to see that. I have to I have to have enough stocks showing me that for that to be the way I'm going to start to sell things. But as of now, for better or for worse, I've been selling at the end of the day or getting stopped out. Most of it's break even, or I keep moving it up slowly. My goal is to just keep moving it up. Improve worst case scenario, as Minervini says. So
you also asked about like sectors, and it is important also to try to create a system, I think, with your watch list and whatnot, to try to group together stocks that are moving together and then find the strongest from those groups. So that's some manual labor that you kind of have to do every day, I think. That's what I'm doing, and just try to find a good system to spot trends and spot themes, because that is a big factor in at least my strategy, to be where the strongest groups are in the sectors, like you say. But then he's also asking, like, I will have a look at the Discord. Come to the Discord, Dane. Now, Max and we are trying to post that daily watch list before the market opens every day now. And he's asking, you go inside on the market open, or you more focus on technical chart entries or order book or pre-market? For me personally, it depends a little bit, but usually at the market open, I'm very active. But right now, when it's very challenging, what I've seen is like you get these breakouts, and then the pullbacks comes like within the first hour or so. So I'm a little bit more careful right now in the opening session. But generally, I like to be active in the first hour or so to try to get my entries in.
Yeah, mine's usually pretty close to the entrance or the start of the day. I usually don't do pre-market just because there's so much volatility in the pre-market, and when the market finally opens, it can look really good pre-market or look really bad, and then when the market opens, it just totally ignores like the entire trading period of pre-market. So I don't really focus on pre-market, but it kind of ebbs and flows. Like I just kind of keep an eye on things. Like, do I find lately everything on like a 1 or 2 minute candle, if it starts to break out, continues on, and like you kind of got to get in it on the morning? If so, I'll start to move up. I'll start to use that 1 or 2 minute candle, and I'll try and get in as soon as I see it break above that point. If it's doing what Johnny said, where it breaks out, comes right back down, well, now I'm starting to look, okay, most likely I'll wait. I'll probably use like a 5, 10, or even the 30-minute candle for that first part. See what's moved up and what's pulled back, and then see what holds up. And then if something can show a setup there, I might go in. So it just depends. Otherwise, too, like I'm just busy during the day. So sometimes I have to just take something and put the break-even stop on and hope. Like, one of my biggest weakness in my trading is not that I do it full time. I mean, that's simple as that. Would I be a better trader if I could do this full time? I'm sure, but until I get to the point where I can do that, it is what it is. It's a limitation.
Yeah. For pre-market and stuff like that, I'm not doing that right now. I've done it a few times, but EPs.
Yeah, EPs.
That's kind of
if there's news, that's when you can use the pre-market.
Yeah. I've also built some screens for that, because I have some books I want to read on EPs moving forward. So at some point I'm going to be more focused. There are definitely opportunities with EPs in this choppy market we are in right now. Maybe those would have worked way better as a strategy than breakouts right now. But I'm just not confident enough, and I don't have the time right now to educate myself and be confident enough that I'm going to do it the correct way. So yeah, but pre-market would be for like big moves like that, or just to get a general idea. You can look at the pre-market, for example, in the giga caps lately, and get a kind of like a feeling of which direction we are going into for the day right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to peek at these things. I just don't typically trade during them.
Yeah, no.
But hey, Johnny, I do got to get going.
Yeah. Thanks for the questions today, Max.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Max. It's always appreciate it,
man. One last thing he just wrote in. Yeah, absolutely agree. My problem is often I can't sit in front of the screens the whole day.
Yeah.
End of the day entry or limit orders for swing is the only thing I can do at the moment. Yeah, we experience a lot the same here, Max, and that's a big limitation, like Dane was saying. But I think both of us, we believe that we will get some results eventually here, and if you just work through this tough period, things can change after some years.
Yeah, like even this week, I saw probably a few stocks work, and if I was able to really be on right and paying attention, I probably could have caught some of those moves. But it's a straight up limitation of everything, So it's there's just nothing I can do about it.
I have to say one last thing though. I just recently saw an interview and with a very successful trader, and he had a slide of the stocks that he had missed for 2025. And it was like all the leaders, all the big winners he had missed out on, but his performance was still exceptional,
Yeah, it's
so
just the system. You have to have a
the
good
mindset
system.
is like it's okay to miss out on a lot of these moves. It's annoying, and it's painful to see, like we use the WDC as an example, to see it moves up after, but it's okay as long as you just keep following the rules and continue to trade, I think. Even the best ones, they miss out on all clear and obvious opportunities for different reasons.
Yeah. So you can't be perfect, but you just have to put the odds in your favor.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Everybody, markets, are they closed on Monday?
I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe.
It's President's Day here in the States, so I think it's closed.
Okay. I didn't know.
Not sure. I got to double check that, but I believe markets are closed Monday, so it might be a short week. So,
Yep.
But we'll keep everybody updated. Everyone have a nice weekend.
Yeah.
It's finally warming up a little bit here, thawing out.
Opposite here. We are very cold.
Ugh. Yeah,
Stupid weather.
I'm very excited to. We're going to be above freezing for the next few days, so I'll take it.
Nice.
All right, guys. Have a
See
good
you
one.
then.